Biba exhibition highlights from the start Barbara Hulinicki as a pioneer in the fashion industry. She also represents many other women in the 1960s who were innovating. Her innovations, of course, were the clothes, the way she distributed those clothes to people, and the dreams that she created in these really creative environments. And she remains an icon, both in fashion, but especially in the business of fashion and retail especially.
What started out at Fashion Textile Museum in London, and Biba, of course, is birthed in London, and aside from one shop that was in Brighton, its whole existence was in London. So this could be interpreted as a London-centric exhibition. However, Biba has left an imprint on so many people.
Biba is sort of a legend in fashion history terms. It's one of those perennial topics of fashion. They come up quite a lot, and they really did have a huge influence in a relatively short period of time. And we were approached by Martin Pell, who was working on a new book, and he had done an exhibition in Brighton at the museum there. Barbara Hulinicki was in Brighton, is where she trained. So that was really how the exhibition started. I always love to see how exhibitions change and develop as they move to new venues. And the Dovecot have done a brilliant job about bringing in a Scottish story to that.
At Dovecot, we are a tapestry studio, which is the pinnacle of textile. It's the finest of the fine art of textile. And so bringing the Biba exhibition into that context is important because it's the more democratic side of how people experience the qualities of fabric through clothing and print. There are brilliant examples in the exhibition of just how the 1960s and then the 70s were exciting times, not only for people who enjoy textile, but for designers. A whole new generation of people went to art school, especially women, and they were able to find new opportunities. And I think that's what's exciting for us at Dovecot. We've got a huge audience who just love what we do, and it's brilliant that we can bring a new perspective on that.
I think that retail had changed. You had a change in the 50s with Mary Quant when she opened Bazaar, and that was a whole new type of retailing, which sort of opened it up, and with windows that you could actually see what was happening. And I think Barbara and her husband Fitz took it in the other direction, and Biba was quite dark and you couldn't really see what was going on inside. It was actually quite intimidating and it had sort of a club feeling. And Barbara talks about not being able to be in charge of the record player because obviously she didn't know what the cool music was. So it was a definite vibe. It was a happening place.
We love a partnership, and we've worked with the Fashion and Textile Museum, who originated the Biba exhibition in London, and their team, especially Dennis Notdruff, the head of exhibitions there, has been so generous with his knowledge, but equally our team at Dovecot have been able to evolve the exhibition and bring new elements into it, especially the Scottish perspective.
So we had a campaign of Bring Ut Your Biba, where we asked the public, did you wear Biba? Do you have any Biba left? Do you have any Biba memories? And we were expecting maybe a few people to come back to us, and we actually had so many people come back with wonderful stories, wonderful pieces of clothing, archival catalogs, and it just really helped me as a curator get a better understanding of Biba and what Biba meant to people at that time. Favorite of mine comes from Charlie Hearn, whose wife Veronica sadly passed away 5 years, and she was such a big fan of Biba. She had donated most of her clothing, so he didn't have any of that to loan to us, but he gave a lot of their memories together of Biba. They met in a mod club in Edinburgh when they were still teenagers, and they had many happy years of taking the overnight bus down to London in order to go shopping at Biba.
Obviously we love the Dovecot, a great institution, but also great colleagues. We've worked with them quite a bit. So it's been really nice seeing it develop in other spaces. Our space was very dark. So, you know, the walls were black. And so this is a very different feeling, which is lovely. So it's nice to see how things sort of grow and change as you come to its new iteration.